Hi everyone, welcome back to Rockin' Robin Cooks. Today I am making a Focaccia bread for you, and not only is it delicious, but it is gluten-free. I know there's a lot of you out there that like to look for some gluten-free recipes, and I'm telling you, this one is really, really tasty. I'll be using a bread mix that I'll tell you about right after the introduction, and I tell you, it is really spot on delicious. You're gonna love the texture, you're gonna love the flavor. I'm making this with some onion and some rosemary and parsley, as well as a little basil, and I'm telling you, the flavors are spot on. All right, I'm Rockin' Robin, and I'm gonna show you how to do it right after this. Let's go over the ingredients with you, and I wanna show you this bread mix that is gonna make this whole bread making thing very, very simple. So here we go. Here's our flour. This is my gluten-free flour that's by Pamelas, and it's called their bread mix, which is just phenomenal for making this and other breads as well. We'll need some olive oil. I have that right over here. And then we'll need, this container here is empty right now, but I'm gonna be putting some water in that. We need warm water to activate our yeast, so you need to get a little bit of yeast. And then our spices are simply dried parsley, basil, and here I've got some fresh rosemary that's out of my garden, and we're gonna chop that up really nice and fine. And last two items are, this is dried chopped onion and some salt. We're gonna start off by placing our dry ingredients into our mixing bowl. I'm using my KitchenAid here, so I'm gonna add my flour to the bowl. Then I'm gonna be adding my yeast, we'll pour that in, and the rosemary. And we want to add the rosemary so that we can infuse that beautiful flavor right into the dough. All right, and we're going to put our whisk attachment on, and then we're just going to blend this together so everything's nicely mixed up. Now we're ready to add our wet ingredients, which includes our water, which I have a cup and a half. You want it to be warm at about, and you should use a thermometer. I'm using a candy thermometer here, and you want your temperature to be, you know, somewhere between 100 and 105 degrees Fahrenheit. If you get it too hot, you're gonna hurt your yeast. Okay, so mine's at about 100, and I'm gonna add my water to this and my olive oil. So we're gonna put in about a quarter of a cup of olive oil to this. All right, so we add the oil. And all we have to do now is turn our mixer on medium for 2 minutes. Now before we pour our dough into our dish, I'm using this 9 by 11 glass baking dish, and I'm gonna add my olive oil to this. And I'm not really measuring it, but it's probably a tablespoon or two in the bottom of this pan or this dish, and you just want to spread this around, and you want to be generous with the olive oil. Now I know that my Focaccia bread here is going to stick a bit, so just warning you a little bit there. Now this dough is a little bit sticky, and that's okay. You're actually better off if it's a little bit on the wet side as opposed to being too dry. Now what we have to do is spread this out into our dish. So it's going to take a few minutes to just work it out and spread it throughout the whole bottom. Next, we're going to brush a little light coating of olive oil on top. And you know how Focaccia bread has those little dimples in it? Well, now is when you can add those little dimples. You can take your fingers and just push right into the dough, and you make little dimples. And next comes our onion, and I tell you, this onion makes a tremendous difference. I hope you will not leave this out if you make this on your own. It really, I don't know, it just makes this dish amazing. Here comes our parsley, and I'm just gonna sprinkle that right over the top. And you're probably only using maybe a half a teaspoon if you really wanted to measure it, but just do a nice light coating. And now for our basil. And I'm just adding that right on top. Now last but certainly not least is the salt. Our Focaccia bread has got to have salt or it's going to taste very flat. Now all we have to do is place a little bit of saran wrap right over the top and put this in a warm place. Usually what I like to do is put it in my oven without the oven temperature being on, of course. So that's what we're gonna do. And this is gonna stay, and we're gonna let it rise a little bit. It doesn't rise a lot, but a little bit for a good hour. All right, so our focaccia has been just, resting and growing. It's grown a little bit. It's gotten a little puffier. You can still see the dimples, and you can see the olive oil in the nooks and crannies, which is all good. And now it is time to toss it in the oven and get it baking. We're gonna pop this in the middle of the oven, and then we're gonna check it. I'm gonna check it at 12 minutes to see where we're at. All right, guys, here we go at 24 minutes. And that is really nice and golden brown. And yep, I think it's done. All right, guys, our focaccia is done, and it smells amazing in my kitchen. I wish you were here. You could smell it, and you could have a piece with me. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut into this. Here's our piece. Here's our focaccia. Oh, the smell is just incredible. Warm focaccia is just amazing. Look at this. I'm gonna take a bite. I love this. It's soft in the middle, and it's got that kind of crunchy exterior that just, oh, it's delicious. And it's got that little, I love that crunch. The onions on top, I tell you, it really makes it. It's delicious, guys. And I like the infused rosemary into the batter, into the dough. It just really, it's not overpowering by any means, but it's just nice and subtle. It's there. Same with the parsley and the basil. Guys, I hope you'll try this recipe. If you know anybody who is looking for gluten-free recipes, please share it with them. I'm sure they would appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that button right up there. And that way you'll never miss a video, because I don't want you to miss a video. And if you have any comments for me, or you have any suggestions of new videos you want me to make, leave it in the comments below. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.